Hello and welcome to this training about reskinning and reframing digital products so that you can create more value for your customer and for yourself. This training is perfect for all digital product creators, also digital product resellers and coaches, course creators, membership owners, online educators that are using done for you resources to add lead magnets, bonuses, enhance their courses, or who are looking to revive maybe some of their old materials and make them a little bit more interesting and high converting again. All right, so we have a lot to cover. I want to share my screen and we'll dive directly in. We're calling this the digital product unicorn lab. It's a makeover because we were joking around and saying, often a resource is just like a horse. And then when you put a horn and a colorful ponytail, it is a unicorn that really stands out. And this is kind of what we are trying to teach you, or what I'm trying to teach you here in this masterclass. How can you go and take a horse or maybe even a donkey of a digital product and turn it into an outstanding unicorn? Okay, so the first thing that you would want to understand is digital product reskinning. Reskinning is kind of the broader umbrella term for the process of taking an existing digital product, resource, such as a PLR, private label rights item, or your own creation from the past, and enhance its actual and perceived value through strategic modifications. Think of the unicorn, right, and the horse with the horn and the ponytail. It might be the same foundation and base, but the experience and the working with it will be different. This process involves reframing and renaming the product to appeal to different audiences, tailoring the content and presentation to specific niches and to the reframe and rename, adding context to make the product more relevant for the targeted user, and ultimately also modifying the design, layout, and or format to improve the overall appeal, right? So it's a full-on process where we're taking one base product and we are making it relevant for more audiences. An analogy that I want to give you is, imagine that a cake, right? It's a beautiful cake sponge that many people from young to old will love. Now if you are a bakery now, you probably have a little bit of a positioning, right? You're either the go-to bakery in town, very accessible, everybody knows you, family has always been there, or you may be specialized in wedding cakes, or maybe you're catering that specializes in birthday celebration. You all will work with the same kind of recipe, or very similar kind of base recipe for your creations, but the way you style and present them will be very differently, because the mama that has a 2-year-old boy, will not buy the same cake than the mama that has a 7-year-old girl. And even the mama with the boy, there are some mamas where the sons are fans of Paw Patrol or Spidey or firefighters or sharks, right? There is the same kind of base sponge cake has a different value and meaning for different audiences. And you can create so much value for the person buying it and for yourself if you take the time to understand who the foundational piece can appeal to, and then tailor the name, frame, the content, if necessary, on the inside. Sometimes it's not even necessary, but sometimes it will also be the presentation, the context, right? And the design and layout to that specific target audience. Okay, so this is the base idea. It's to elevate a base product by adapting it to different contexts, right? So thinking of the shop, your shop as the bakery, what type of shop, what type of business do you have it? What's the context? And then what audiences can you serve from within that context that you are situated, located in? And with that, you can make the core product more attractive and more valuable for potential buyers, and with that also generate value and more sales and recurring customers for your business. Okay, so why reskinning? We would want to give either done for you PLR products or existing products that you've created in the past more life. How do we do this? When we are reskinning, renaming, reframing products, we can take items that are an excellent starting point, right? The sponge for the cake, and we can present it in a way that creates a highly customized experience and offer so we can stand out in crowded marketplaces, right? So think of that small town that has 5 bakeries. They all found a distinct positioning, and then within that, they still would want to have different cakes, a different variety assortment of offers to appeal within the segment, within the audiences, that they can segment their overall target market in. And with that, we can create a lot of uniqueness from the same product, because other than a typical bakery, if you are using your own past creations or PLR product, you don't need to reinvest in ingredients and in baking if you want to just top it up with a different style presentation, make it appeal to a different audience, because it doesn't cost you anything to duplicate and restyle, rename, reframe, slightly customize the base product. Nothing else but the time, but the heavy lifting with the initial product is done, right? And so you can create a lot of uniqueness, and by adapting that single product to multiple niches, you can increase your reach and profitability, because you are also more efficient and cost effective if you are reskinning one existing product and turning it into many that appears to different segments of the audience. That adds value because it feels really, really tailored to them, right? So, I'm a mama, so I pull this example. I love to pull this example. My son had this phase. Now we're coming out a little bit of it, where he was really into Spider-Man, right? And so whenever I saw something with a Spider-Man on it, and it was, I remember this distinctively, it was a lollipop in the store, and it had a Spider-Man on it, and it felt like it was custom made for us. And out of the other candies that would have all tasted well for my son, that was of course the one that I had to buy. It had an emotional relationship connection to it. I was feeling like that lollipop was speaking to me, and it was made for me to pick up, right? And that's the kind of effect and increased conversions that we have when we're really tailoring a base product like a lollipop to a specific audience by adding a Spider-Man wrapper on it, right? And with that, we can also justify a higher price, because you can bet that I was paying more than your average lollipop for that Spider-Man lollipop, and I was happy to pay it because it felt like a custom experience for me. I was actually really happy to find it. It felt like it was made for me. Okay. So with that, when we reskin, when we niche down in our products, when we reposition, when we customize the look and feel with that specific target audience in mind, we are also enhancing the relevance for the target audience, right? So while I wasn't even looking to buy candy at that day, I immediately felt that this offering there on the shelf was highly relevant for me. And a similar experience is to your customer if you take that time to emphasize and tailor a product to more targeted niches. Okay, so the benefits are, and I already touched base on them, but I want to summarize it and drive it home. You can increase your product range. One key product can appeal to many audiences. One planner journal, lollipop can have different wrappers, slight modification maybe on the inside. Maybe you need to change the color of the Spider-Man lollipop to red inside as well, and then you change it to blue inside of the Sonic or Baby Shark one, right? So maybe slight inside modifications as well. But with that, you can take one base product, you can make it appeal to many different audiences, and with that, very quickly expand your catalog and your offerings. And you know that every offer that you have out there is an opportunity to acquire a customer. Every acquired customer is an opportunity to have somebody coming back to you, buying again, and recommending your business. You have a higher perceived value. The tailored products, they can, like I explained with the lollipop example, often command a higher price due to the specificity and relevance that they offer. That ultimately equates to improved marketability. Reskinned, renamed, reframed products are easier to market as they directly address the needs of the specific audiences, as they directly appeal to those specific audiences. It enhances the user experience. The user can more easily understand and apply and use the product when it's tailored to their context, right? So you enhance the consumability and usability of your product just by putting it into the right context for your user. That ultimately gives you a competitive advantage, right? So in highly saturated markets, which is a market where you want to be in, because where there is competition, money flows, and you would want to sit yourself into where money flows, because that means that there is demand, right? You don't even have to worry about, is there product to market fit, because you're not reinventing the wheel. You know that this product is already selling so and so many times on Etsy. This is how we're creating the product basis for Secret Weapon. We do research what is already selling, that is in demand and still has relatively low competition. You are already tapping into where money is already flowing, where there is already demand. You don't have to worry about product to market fit. You just have to worry about differentiating yourself, which is infinitely more easier than finding something people want, right? Taking something people already want and then finding a way to stand out is a lot easier. Not saying that it is, no work, but it's infinitely easier than trying to find something and create demand for it. And ultimately, you can also scale more efficiently, because creating multiple variations of that successful product already proven to sell will increase your digital real estate, right? The more offers you have out there, the easier it is for people to find you. The more the offers that are already in demand feel tailored to that customer experience, the easier it is for them to say yes. The better their experience is, the more likely they are to leave you a good review, come back, recommend you, the quicker you can build a loyal customer base and an actual brand. Like, the more you can actually stand out to customers and have them come again and recommend. Now, I think I already shared a little bit why it's important to reskin on the marketplace, but let me quickly drive it home. You would want to be where the money is. At the same time, you need to find a way to stand out there. This is why you would want to target niches within areas where there is already demand. That will improve your visibility in search. So when people are searching for products and you have a highly customized, gorgeous product, you'll stand out. But also, if you're tailoring the name and frame of that product towards your specific audience, you can also use those keywords and enhance the way you can be found through search itself. You will have higher conversion rates because the product speaks directly to the customer's needs, right? So remember my lollipop example with Spider-Man. Ultimately, it will allow you to build a brand because you are offering a range of offers that appeals to that audience. So they're not only having this one product from you that appeals to them, but a range of products. And because you can, with this way, increase your digital equity so quickly, have multiple variations of your offer, fill up your stores and funnels and memberships and course offerings a lot quicker with a lot of relevant offers, you can really accelerate that journey of building a brand and becoming a go-to supplier, right? So we want to be a go-to supplier of digital products, of knowledge, of helpful, relevant, specific resources for the target audience online. That is the ultimate goal. Okay, so now let's talk about a few use cases and applications. The first thing is that at Quick Win, we can change the title and name of the product. We can and should change the visual design of the product. This is big, right? So think of when you're decorating a cake, that can probably make the biggest difference. And people are buying the cake before they taste it, right? So people do buy the cake by its decoration and the book by its cover. So changing the visual appeal is one of your biggest levers. However, if you're not changing the title or the frame, then the visual redesign will feel disconnected from the ultimate purpose, and you would still be very comparable versus when you're going the extra mile and also changing title and names. So please always try to go there a little bit the extra mile and think holistically about the product. I'll cover that also in a second. Now, when you have changed the title and the visual design and it's cohesive, of course, you would also want to make sure that there are not any modifications inside the product that you need to take care of. Again, think of the lollipop. If I'm buying a Spider-Man lollipop and then I'm opening it and it's green on the inside, I will feel a little bit disappointed, like I had a bait and switch. So make sure to also make the necessary adjustments on the inside. Of course, you can take it a step further and you can change and transform the format. You can go from a workbook to a guided planner, from a guided journal to a workbook, from a workbook to a playbook to a guidebook to an ultimate action planner, right? So there's different ways in which you can already change the format by just changing the container name. Or you can also take it a step further and, for example, change gorgeous Instagram templates into Pinterest templates, into LinkedIn templates, right? So there are many different ways to change the format, container name, sizes, all are there. Then you can bundle and unbundle, right? So thinking of taking specific worksheets out of a worksheet bundle and rebundling them, or taking a few affirmation cards that are highly relevant to the planner that you're selling and bundling it up. What we would want to we can also sell separate pages from a complete workbook that are distinct exercises separately, or pull them out. We can pull out checklists. We can take out journal prompts and have them as standalone items. So not only think about how can I stuff a maximum of things together and strike through the price. That's not smart bundling. Smart bundling is how can I zoom in and out from a problem to create a compact solution to solve the problem. Volume does not equal value. People typically want the fastest, least painful way to an outcome. So please try to avoid overstuffing, because it actually doesn't always create more value. And this is a pattern that we see repeatedly, which is even why we are also made it a rule in Secret Weapon. Just volume stuffing doesn't necessarily get you more sales. It will just destroy the prices for you, and it can actually have a negative effect on the branding of your shop, mini offer, overall coaching business. Try to avoid volume stuffing, mistaking it for value, and think of bundles that solve a specific problem, and think of pulling out items that are specifically helpful for a target audience. That's the goal of bundling and unbundling, is to create solution packages. Niche specialization, you would want to add industry-specific examples, terminologies, or case studies to make a product more relevant for a particular sector. Think, for example, of our social media planner on Secret Weapon. People absolutely love the base, and they tailor it to everything from e-commerce businesses to realtors to massage businesses, right? And so you can use the same product, but you can just tailor it to a specific industry, and with that, again, make it much more relevant and easier to use. Size and packaging. So resize or repackage the content for different platforms and user preferences. One thing that we see, for example, now again and again, is that people like content in Google Docs. I think there's a huge opportunity to take some of the content and of the workbooks and turn them into Google Docs, right? Doing checklists in that kind of format. So thinking about changing the container vehicle of that, but also, like I've mentioned before, thinking about the different formats, right? So taking social media posts and resizing them, square ones, and resizing them into reels, right? Is a really, really great example. Or, for example, when we're having stickers, right? Using those stickers to enhance social media posts, for example, or the workbooks themselves. So just thinking about how you can repurpose certain elements of the product in a different way can really massively help you with the packaging adjustments. Language localization is one of the overlooked ones. We do have a few people that are nailing translating our items to different target markets, like from a language perspective. And I think this is a really beautiful idea. And again, within that, there's still the opportunity to differentiate yourself further. But because not a lot of people are doing this right now, there is a big opportunity here with just simple translation. Again, this will eventually at one point still make it necessary for you to adapt further, but right now not a lot of people are doing this for all kinds of languages. And then audience specific framing. Frame the product benefits and features to appeal to a different demographic or psychographic segment, right? So maybe when you're thinking of let me say a journal, the same mindfulness journal can create a different experience if you call it for men versus for women. And then you just might need to make a small adjustment on the inside for the content, and you change the visual appeal on the outside. And there you go. You already have tailor the product to a specific audience. There's so many low-hanging fruits like this out there. So really, think along those lines. By mastering the art of digital product reskinning, you can maximize the value for your existing content, including PLR products, and reach new audiences. Okay, let me drive this home by also giving you the full process of how to do this in the Reframing 101 in a second.